In this video, we're going to be walking through how to install the Broan in-wall vent for a bathroom that we have here. This bathroom has never had any kind of ventilation, so this is the first of its kind. I'm going to walk through every step that we're doing to get it here. So basically, I have the wiring here. There used to be a light switch here, so I'm basically going to need a power source, so I'm grabbing that from there. I'm running wire up through the wall and all the way over to that guy over there. There's a second story over us, so I can't just kind of do a thing through the ceiling or the roof. Instead, I have to do this through wall thing. And yeah, so basically the way it works is out of the box, you're gonna get a bunch of stuff. And the things to note that took me a while to figure out is, number one, before you do any of this stuff, find all your studs and know where you're gonna put this thing. And ideally, it's kind of centered with the bathtub. And then once we did that, what I did is I took a long thing, has to be greater than the thickness of basically from the inside of this drywall to the outside of the siding on your house. In our case, that was just under 5 inches. If you don't have more than 6 inches of wall, you're not gonna be using any of the extension pieces that they have. If you are, then you're just gonna basically fasten them on. But I think most walls are probably in this situation. So basically, do one little pilot hole, I'd say probably 1/4 inch big, and a long bit, so at least 5 or more inches, depending on how thick your walls are. And then once you've done that, the inner hole will be 6 1/8 if you are not requiring any kind of the extension, so if it's not more than 5 inches thick or 6 inches thick. And then on the outside hole, this has to be 6 3/8 thick regardless. So I had to buy a 6 3/8 bit, which is the reason why this job's taking a bit longer than I would have liked. But anyways, we got that drilled up. I've got the wire for the fan here, and after removing the cover plates and stuff, I fished the wire through. And so now I'm basically just going to throw a little crimp or clamp connector into it, onto the box, and then we should be good to go. So this is the power for basically creating this tiny little outlet inside of the thing. I'm gonna punch out one of these knockouts. Hopefully that's a 3/8 connector or hole. And then I'm gonna basically throw in one of these guys, and then I'm going to put the wiring through that. And then we'll have a little power outlet inside of this thing, and then we'll wire this up to be a switch, and we should be good to go. So yeah, these are the instructions if you want to pause the video and look at it. But for me, I'm more visual, so basically hopefully this helps, and yeah, stay tuned. All right, so just got the ground wire in. I got the clamp installed here because we don't want to have the short metal cut through our wiring and end up causing a short. And so now I've got the neutral and hot wire right there, and I'm gonna wire those up to the little plug that we have, and I'm just gonna kind of shove all this stuff in there. So order of operations was, number one, whatever wire you have goes through this opening on it, and then once you got the wire through, then you put the wire into this little box that they give you, and then you cinch it down with those 2 screws. You'll have to provide your own. And then after we do all that stuff, now we're going to put this back up into there. And there's a little black screw that we'll be using to do that. And then once we get that done, then we'll wire these 2 together and plug in the little socket, and we'll screw on the cover plate for this thing, and then we'll be done. And I'll have to do a bunch of drywall. So yeah. All right, and this is how things look just before I shove it all back up in there, so you guys get one last look at it. All right, just finished screwing in that guy, and now come in here and we just plug that right into there, and we put our cover back on. That just screws on here, and I think we'll be pretty good to go. Right on the outlet side of the house, this is where I drilled the 6 3/8 inch hole, and so I'm just gonna stick this guy on top of it. And then there's these 4 locations where I'm going to stick the 2-inch drywall screws that I have, and then I'm going to go over it with some caulk just to keep the rain out. And so you kind of want to focus near the top and sides of this thing. Okay, and this is the outside of the house. This is obviously not professional grade, but it'll work. It was just 4 drywall screws, and so I'm using 2-inch screws, and then also some caulking around the perimeter here just to give it some of that. And then yeah, you can see the fan through there. And then these things open up when someone's actually using it. Just got all the electrical wiring finished here. So the bottom left guy is the power coming in. And so basically all the neutrals and all the grounds are connected at all times for the wire, which is on the left, that goes up through all these walls and over to that fan right there. And so basically what happens is this power goes into this Wago right there. And then from the Wago, it goes to the switch. And then from the switch, the black line hot wire goes from the switch back up this wire and then actually completes the circuit to that fan. So now if I flip this switch, you can see that fan is spinning. All this is all the stuff. Thanks all for watching.